Alright, afternoon everybody. Welcome to Pocono Raceway. We are here for the Great American Getaway 400. Round 14 of the IRSCL season. And we are here about to start qualifying. As it is 15 minutes out on the session, we will have single cars going out on the racetrack. Oh, hold on. I believe there is something up with the stream. Maybe. Just give us 1 second here. Alright, never mind. We got it. We're good. That was off. But anyways, on track right now is the number 69 Ford Performance Ford of Jay. This is I believe, his second start Indy 1. Because he did make a start back at the All-Star race earlier this season. But of course, the All-Star race was a points race, so this is officially Jay's first points race of the season. As right now, he is going down to turn 3. Rolling it down here. About to complete his lap. He can keep it off the wall. And here it comes across the line. It is a 51.2. First time on the board. As he will bring it into the pits. And we'll have our next car out. The number 19 Toyota Camry of Truex. He has been making starts on and off here this season. I believe this is his 4th or 5th start in the season. I don't remember crap. But he's back here at Pocono, driving the number 19 Gamebridge car. As he'll be warming up here. The start is lapping qualifying. And see if he can get a better lap than Jay. But we had to have some late adjustments going into this race, as one of the changes we had was the officials had decided after there was a possible malfunction that was going on within the cars that was giving a slight advantage to some drivers. And so, as Truex takes the green, the officials had decided this morning that they will add restrictor plates to the cars. And this will limit horsepower and all the such that restrictor plates do, as we typically have them at the high banks of Daytona, Talladega, all those type tracks. But we haven't quite seen for how racing is here, as we've seen how it was with the original package the other day with D2, which that race is already madness upon itself, but drivers did get a very unique advantage just because of something that was up within the cars that simply us developers could not control. But as Truex comes off a turn 3, he keeps the car clean, and across the line, he is going to go with a 52.346, about a full second off pace. This is his first lap around the track, so this is sort of expected for the 19. But as he's going to pull it off here, we are waiting on our next car, which it looks like to be the number 14 of Almirola. But I believe he is not going. Oh boy, hold up. Alright. We had to send a command to the drivers to indicate about how we're going to qualifying, but Now onto the racetrack is number 14, Smithfield Chevrolet of Amarola. Him and Ballin are in the most tightest battle it is in the points right now. As I believe going to this weekend, they are 3 points between each other. Amarola, who last week, he couldn't even make the race, as it was Trooper who subbed for him at the Chicago Street Course, and Trooper put an absolute performance, beating Alvarola's basic rival and teammate Ballin to the win there, and that essentially just gave Alvarola a huge advantage in points. And now going into this weekend, 3 points between, we will have to keep an eye on these guys as they will start their qualifying times around here at Pocono. As Alvarola rolls through turns 1. It's only turn 1. I don't know why I said that, but this track is very unique. As a normal oval, they will always have 4 corners. This one is a triangle, so it has 3 corners. If people knows basic math and all that crap, I don't know. But as he rolls into turn 3, as he goes way wide, all the way up the racetrack, this might gonna slow him down. As here comes across the line, he is gonna clock in P2, 51.533. 3/10 of a second off the lead time by Jay. But as we have our next car up, it is the number 5. Another driver who's making his first start today, that is Chase. And the number 5, Worldwide Express Toyota Camry for Rowdy Esports. He is a new development driver that's shown up on the scene in IRSCL. A few weeks back when we were racing at Talladega, he was signed to do a part-time role in the RES team. And he went off to his first race and dominated Talladega and got the win. And literally the same day, he got signed to go full-time for the rest of the season. And he's already participated in the last 2 races at Chicago and yesterday at Pocono. And he got top 3 finishes in all of his starts throughout the season. That is already mighty impressive for the driver in that car as he takes the green. And now, just 3 races into his few starts in D2, he's already making a D1 start, and he's rolling to turn 1 here at Pocono in qualifying. He's got a mighty turn 1, going 193 miles an hour, the limited speed around here at the big 2-mile triangle that is Pocono. Rolls through turn 2, keeps up the pace. Might be looking for a good lap here. Here he comes into turn 3. Solid right on the gas, tapping the gas like crazy. Keeps it off the wall, off the corner, to the line. He's going to clock in to the top. A 50.946. A mighty lap by Chase. Alright, we will have our next car go up. That is back to the 14's championship battle. It is the number 2 Chevrolet of Ballin. He is the current points leader. He is trying his best to keep the points lead as Alvarola is having a tear of a season. Even though Ballin is the most consistent, Alvarola has been winning races left and right. And he is trying to keep up with it. But he is struggling on it. But as Ballin comes off of turn 3 to start taking the green here. As he takes the green, we will note of the commentator we have for this race. It is iRowdy54 here on the top. I'll be the main commentator for this race as we will have our first ever in IRSCL history, a pit reporter in this race. I'm not kidding. We literally have a pit reporter right for this race, and that is part-time driver Anthony. He'll be coming in once and often to bring in some data info from driver communications. And we will find out for how the races are playing with more accurate data coming in from the drivers. As we are taking a very interesting type here because all drivers are now in a free VC or voice chat where they can communicate with each other as Ballin goes P2 by 2/100ths of a second off of the pole time. Oh my goodness. But as he gets on the racetrack, it is the number 17 Ford of Aaron that's up next, starting his outlap here. About 5 or so minutes remaining for people to try joining and make their laps around here at Pocono. But this qualifying is completely dependent going into this race, especially with that point slip battle we have as Aaron is all the way up in the wall of turn 2. It appears that he's starting to struggle a little bit, possibly. I'm not sure if he had any track time around here before the start of the session, so I think he's just trying to get it around, as he is very slow off turn 3 on the start of his lap. Or he gets it up to speed as he takes the green. Here he goes in the turn 1. He's gonna have to gas a little slow for turn 1. Just a wee bit. Not much, but he may have lost a few tenths at that corner. As he rolls down the long straight into turn 2, the tunnel turn. And he's going to go right up into the wall. And that is qualifying over for Aaron. That is going to be a validated lap. As our typical procedure in qualifying, if a driver hits the wall in the midst of the qualifying, that lap will be invalidated, as it could be given an advantage to that driver. So to limit that advantage, we've made that rule, and unfortunately, it will pay the price for Aaron. But as now next up on the racetrack is number 91, Jordan Ford of D's. He already has 1 win on the season. Back at Bristol, the first ever streaming race we have this whole season. And he's been about top 5 in points almost all season. And he's also been really consistent as he got a really good run last week. I believe he got... I'm trying to remember what he finished last week at Chicago. No, he finished second because Ballin had that issue in the final few laps. Right. So, D's already got off a good run with a second place back at Chicago. He'll be going to this weekend with a really good run as he looks to take the green. It looks like we still have 1 car remaining whenever we finish qualifying. With about 2 minutes to go. As Deeds rolls through turn 1 and 2. Well, he'll be turning into turn 2 for a minute. Here he comes down the straight into the tunnel turn. Okay, that's a really good turn 2. Couldn't get the max amount of speed out of the corner. But here he comes to the turn 3. Right along the bottom and all the way to the exit. Out of the final corner to the line. It's gonna be a P3 time of 51.029. And then there was one. And it's the number 97 Horizon Chevrolet of Monfa. He is a guy who has been trying his best to gain up in the points going into this race. Well, really for the whole season. Because after his teammates have been pulling off the most craziest-esque moves going on. He is going to be going into this weekend trying to gain as much points as he can, going against his teammates. Alright, here he comes to take the green. As he is swerving around the racetrack, trying to get as much speed as he can, I believe. But he's going to go way wide in the entry of turn 1. But he's going to dip it down and get as much momentum as he can. That may have helped there. But this will maybe, or I think we still have one more car left on the grid. I will have to check. Okay, here comes the 97 into turn 3. He keeps it off the wall. It's going to be a pretty clean lap. I would be concerned about that turn 1 issue, but I think off the final corner, this may be a solid lap. As here he comes across the line, P5 of 51.296. And I believe that will be the end of qualifying. Or, wait a minute. Why is Trooper on the racetrack? Alright, we're trying to figure something out for why the 24 is on the racetrack. Because he was not signed or anything. Alright. Well, we're trying to get some late race info, but the guy on the racetrack is Trooper, the racer from last week, who won on the 14. He is running this race and suffered Dawn. Very breaking news coming in, but he's going to be across the line. He's going to go P7 with a 51.758. So I believe alongside that, that is going to finish qualifying here. As we'll take a brief break. And we will be off to set the grid here at Pocono. Alright, welcome back. As we have got the drivers all set, ready to go here at the restart zone. Just trying to make sure that our stuff is working correctly here. But I believe we should be good to go. Alright. So we're just checking up on some things, but I believe we're ready to send it green here at Pocono. Alright. The countdown is down. It is Chase and Ballin on the front row. And we are underway in the Pocono Mountains. Rocketing down to turn one. Who's going to get the advantage? Side by side for the race lead. Chase on the bottom, Ballin on the top. And it looks like going down off of the exit of turn one, it's going to be Chase. Ballin has some maneuverability. He's back on the inside. He did a crossover off of turn one. Side by side, going down the tunnel turn for the first time here at Pocono. Ballin going way on the bottom. Chase going to get a better momentum. Jay now moves up to second. Ballin had a big issue going on the apron there in turn two. As they go down to turn three for the first time, Jay hit the bump in the bottom of the apron. But out of the final corner, first lap is going to be led by Chase. As everybody else trying to sort themselves out, it's now a single file train going down once again to start lap two. As a little bit of contact between the Divine teammates, J and D's little bit of contact, but they managed to keep it up. They're still maintaining positions as they follow the RES 5, who leads the way going down the tunnel turn. As Jay's gonna hit the wall really hard off turn two. He's gonna lose a little bit of momentum as he now battles with his teammate of D's for the second spot. As he had one car in there going way wide off turn three. Going into the wall, it looks like it was Trooper on the 24. Lap 2 complete, and Chase still leads the way. J and D still running second, third. The 14 Alrola is up to fourth, and Monfa running at the top five. But it looks like Ballin, after having the issues before, is way in the back. As Jay gets to the wall, he's going to lose multiple spots. He's going to go all the way back to fifth, as now it's going to allow D's to move up to second. As he's now being chased by the Horizon teammates as they both get into the wall. And now side by side, going down to turn three. You have one car that looks to be completely off the pace in the back. That looks to be the 19 of Truex. He's a few seconds back as 14 hard into the wall. That's going to lose a whole lot of time as looks like they're trying to block the 69 of Jay. But it ain't going to be doing much. As we're just a few laps in, the stage number one. And just madness trying to sub themselves out. But it looks like now it is a battle for the third spot. Or excuse me, the fifth spot. With Jay and Ballin. Ballin trying to make a comeback after that bad start in turn two on the first lap. But it looks like he's going to be looking on the inside here. Oh, he's trying the long way around. As Jay is now going side by side with Alrola as the three cars ahead of him all hit the wall. Big time issues for them. As they're wiggling all about, trying to get up to speed, but they are struggling bad. So you have RES cars leading the way and leading the back. As we have Chase, who leads the way in the 5, and Truex, who is a few seconds back in 8th. But we will go on board with the 69 of Jay as he battles against the 14 Alrola for the 4th spot. They're all going to get in the wall. That's going to hurt a little bit of speed from them, as it's starting to allow a 1.5 second gap between 1st and 2nd. And that's now Ballin, who comes out of nowhere, and he's going to challenge his teammate to try gain the 1st spot. But he's going to get bumped up at the track with Jay, as they're now free wide off turn 1. A little bit of lag showing up just a wee bit. But they're side by side for 3rd. Jay have the advantage on the bottom. The better line around the track. Ball gets into the wall. That's probably going to kill his momentum, and that's going to lose the battle for 3rd, as it's now going to allow Jay to keep the spot. So it's once again Divine Cars 2 and 3, but it's still RES in the 5 with Chase driving the wheel. He is still leading the way and separating the gap. But it looks like he just said right up the straightaway he froze for a split minute. So it may bring some concern for them. But it looks like he is still given the advantage on the racetrack. As he look on from Jay, trying to keep the 2 of Ballin behind. Ballin did get past the 97 of Monaco for 4th. He's trying to look on for 3rd. He's there on the inside of Jay. Side by side going out of turn 3. Ballin still hanging on the bottom. A little bit of contact between the 2. Coming off the turn 3, still side by side, but I think it might be Ballin who still hangs on. But Jay is still there on the outside as they go down to turn 1 once again. But it was like here, a little bit of contact once again. But it was like Ballin is going to clear off of turn 1, and he's going to get the 3rd spot. As now the 97 of Monfa is starting to close back in again, as Jay is now out of the inside of the 2 once again. Puts him in the wall. Gotta be a little careful there, as it looks like the gap between 1st and 2nd is starting to close in just a little. It's back from 1.5 seconds to now a full second. We'll see how the telemetry is across the line. It's still about the same. As Jay is just trying his hardest to get past the 2 of Ballin and secure the 3rd spot, but he's struggling to get past him. But Ballin's going to hit the wall again. That's going to lose some momentum. As they go down the straightaway into turn 2. As Jay's going to slap the wall. Multiple drivers just hitting the wall, trying to get as much momentum as they can, but it's just hurting them more and more. Because just last week back in Chicago, we've added a new script, well, new development stuff into the cars to where if you hit the wall, it will lose tire wear. So this shows just by drivers hitting the wall, they're losing more and more grip. And that's going to hurt them a whole lot more. So they want to reduce hitting the wall as much as they can. As meanwhile, it looks like the gap between 1st and 2nd is starting to spread out by 1.5 seconds. Almost. But the gap is starting to spread. As the battle for 3rd still rings on. As everybody is still struggling to keep it off the wall. Oh, but Jay's going to send it onto the 2 of Ballin. They're going to be back side by side, going down the long straightaway as they're slamming doors. Good grief. Hang on to it. As they're still side by side going to turn 1. Jay enters low, Ballin enters high. He's going to perform the crossover once again. And they're going to slide up the racetrack, side by side, still once again as they get off turn 1. Rolling back down to the turn 2. Jay's going to go way wide. He's going to go on the wall. Give the first spot again to Ballin. As they're still trying to situate themselves. Because this battle for third, potentially up for second, as these two cars are starting to catch up to the 91 of D's. He was starting to lose a little bit of time to the race leader. We'll look on the onboard of Jay once again, provided by Ford Performance, as he looks on the challenge for the lead as Ballin into the wall hard. He's going to lose the gap, and including a spot to Jay. But now it's Divine Motors 2 and 3 once again, but can it stay that way? 9 laps to go. In stage number 1, we have one car near spinning in the back. And it's the 24 of Trooper. He keeps it together and gets it back going. As we still look back, and Truex, who is struggling.
I got some information to relay. The Horizon cars are struggling. That's all I got.
Oh, I'm sorry, who was struggling again?
The Horizon cars are struggling. Yeah, that's it. All I got.
Alright. That's a pit report from from Anthony. Our part-time driver that shows up sometimes. But as we look on, multiple cars still hitting the wall. They've got to keep a close eye on the wall. But this battle on for a second. Good grief. But as you heard from the port, the other Horizon cars are struggling to find pace. Which it definitely shows as Trooper, Alrola, and Monfa are struggling to keep up with these top 4. As the gap is now 2 seconds between first and second. Alright, a warning has been given from the officials to this free car battle on for a second, as they've been using the wall for a consistent amount of laps. They've been warned about using it. It is just a soft warning, but as they get off the final corner, they keep it off the wall. Chase crosses the line, 6 to go. Gap is about 2.5 seconds between Chase and Jay. As it looks like it's starting to spread out a little bit. Ballin hits the wall, it's going to lose a little bit of momentum. As we look on from the rear view of Chase, who is just on cruise control around here. As he says those cars behind him, and they are so small. And here we go, 5 to go. And the gap is still long, but they are gaining a little bit that time. Truex still behind. He's way off pace. I don't know what's going on with the 19 team, but they are way off the pace. Now we may see a little bit of strategy here as the 69 just straight up put the 2 in the wall. They gotta be careful. Oh boy, they're getting right up in there as they're now side by side once again. This is a battle for the third spot. As Dees has started to spread himself out from this battle. As Chase is pretty much gone. 4 laps to go, and the gap is almost 3 seconds. He has been lining up the competition all weekend. Good grief. As they still look on, side by side preferred. Ballin looks to be able to clear the 69. They're going to both get into the wall, but they still hang on. Now, on the strategy that may come in play is that we may see drivers come into the pit before the stage ends, so they can go for some track position. As we still have cars still hitting the wall, multiple of them. The officials already giving warnings to the top three here about that wall, as they've been using it for a consistent amount of laps, but they seem to be keeping off of it, as they're, oh goodness, they're getting real tight, right into the wall. Well, not wall, but right into each other. But it looks like Jay is going to take advantage, but he's going to get a bumper from his teammate at D's. He's also going to get a bumper from Ballin. As they're still side by side, this battle for second is going insane. Side drafted down the backstretch into turn 2. Jay still hangs on to the second spot, but oh boy, D's got a little buff for Ballin, who goes on the inside of Jay. He's there. And right on his back bumper now. As they get off of turn 3, Ballin's going to try pulling side by side with the 91 of D's, as it looks like nobody has pitted, as pit row closes and they're in the wall. Teammates into the wall, they're gonna lose at least one spot, but Jay is already starting to rebel back to get that spot once again. As Ball's going to go straight up in the wall. I don't know if he was forced by the 69 or what, but that just lost him quite a bit of time. 2 spots now, lost to the 2. As this is all what Chase wants to see, as he looks to be getting a really clean stage win here at Pocono in just his first start. As he still look on, as these guys are still battling for stage points, Jay and Jace are the only part-time drivers here who are not going for points. As Chase crosses the line, 1 lap to go in stage number 1. Chase pretty much has his stage 1, but now we have the 97 of Monfa into the picture. As he looks on to try getting 1 spot away from Ballin, which will be 1 spot. Well, this is 1 point given, because I believe, yeah, this is the final few spots to earn stage points, because once again, top 5 earn stage points at the end of stage every time. We go into every weekend. As D's gonna go on the wall! He's gonna get spin finish, he's not gonna lose a whole lot of time. 97 goes into the 69. As he's trying to go on the outside, too much momentum, into the wall, goes to 97. But off the final corner, Chase is going to cross the line and win stage number 1. As everybody else is trying to keep themselves together across, Jay's going to get second, Monfa third, Ballin fourth, and rounding out the top 5 will be the 91 of D's. Everybody else slamming into each other, trying to get as much points as they can, as they're still waiting on the 19 of Truex to cross the line. Okay, they don't need to be going backwards this early, as we still have cars coming back. Alright, we're going to take a brief break here, and get things set to send them down for the first pit stops of the night here at Pocono. Alright, we're back here at Pocono Raceway. Pit stops are about to begin. Countdown is already given. And here we go. Chase is going to lead him down to the pits. As everybody is still trying to situate themselves here. Alright. As everybody is starting to situate themselves. Alright, Chase is already off the pits. And I'll roll a bit of contact. He even gets sand by the 2. But it looks like the race off the pit lane. It's going to be the 5 leading the way. Monfa P2. D's third, J fourth, and Truex with a comeback up to the top 5. As there were multiple bad pit stops there for some drivers, but Truex was by far the biggest gainer of that. Gained a whole 4 spots. Well, 3 spots. My bad. But we're going to take one more break to allow drivers to get settled here at the grid. This is the Great American Getaway 400 here at Pocono. Alrighty. Stage 1 complete. We are about to start stage number 2. Here at Pocono Raceway, Chase and Monfa, our new front row, as we go back green. Stage 2 is underway. Even start from the front two as they roll down to turn 1. Chase looks like they may have the advantage. He's going to clear going down to turn 1. As everybody else trying to sort themselves going down to turn 1. Side by side battle on for 5th is with Truex and Almirola. Truex going to go completely wide. He's going to lose the spot. And another one, and he's battling for near dead last again. As we still look on from the front, and it's Chase who looks to be off of turn 3, going to lead once again. Clear by advantage, using the Dragon here on the front stretch. Trying to keep drivers away from using this draft. As we'll just take a look at the race summary at this point. 22 laps complete. Chase has already won stage 1. We have 110 laps on total. We have 29 laps remaining till the end of stage 2. And right now, Chase has led every lap of this race. Not one has been led by another driver, which is already mighty impressive for this 5 car. We do have some cars that just hit the wall off turn 3. 28 to go, and Chase is trying to pull away from the group once again. This 5 car has just been dominant ever since the green. Well, really ever since he even went on the racetrack in qualifying. Because he earned the pole, he won stage 1, and is still looking on to pull away and get another stage win. Even though that car is not even here for points. Because we've seen the likes of Byron, myself, Timmy, and multiple drivers drive this car for multiple events throughout the season. And the highest finish I think we've seen was back at, I believe, Atlanta with Byron driving the 5. As this is a part-time car to celebrating RES's 5th anniversary as a team, incorporated back in 2019 when the season started back in 2024, just to know for those who were trying to get things mixed up, because it definitely don't go well, but they're still celebrating their 5th season in competition with any series or league or anything here. And they're looking to just have a monumental race here, which they definitely need. As of right now, no driver from RES has won a race this entire season. Not even exhibition race or anything. They've been close to, because I think the closest they've been to winning a race was a couple weeks ago back at Darlington, where Dino, who was literally the most dominant car in the race, got screwed over by pit strategy. Which we had Monfa, who managed to keep the tires on and cruise to a victory there after a controversial finish happened with Ballin and pit exit. Because originally Ballin had won the race, but he earned a lap penalty because he didn't follow pit road procedures. And getting an advantage and eventually losing the race. But it was like this time, Chase is starting to not pull away as much as he has the 97 of Monfa right on his back bumper. He is trying to lose him off. 25 to go. Going all the way to the bottom. Trying to lose that 97 from the draft, but he is there. He's trying to back it up. Bumps into the 5. We have a battle on for the race lead now. As Bumper right on his back bumper with a battle on for third as well. Jay and Ballin is side by side contact between the two, going out into the tunnel turn as they're gonna slam each other into the wall. Ballin's gonna pull away easy, but Jay's gonna suffer the worst of it. That's how Monfa might clear the 5 off a turn 3. He will. New race leader of the race. It is the 97 of Monfa. We have one car around in the back. Alroa spinning around all the way to the bottom. It looks to be a one-car incident here. Yet one-car incident. We are still green. But Alroa is saying on the radio that it deserves to be a 1 out of 3. Not sure for what happened off the corner, but we saw the two teammates pin each other in the wall, and the 14 getting the worst of it. As now we see Jay, who's trying to recover from it, but he can't quite recover as he has Trooper right on his inside. If he's still going for the race lead, Monfa pulls away, as now Chase seems to be suffering some issues as he just lost the second spot. He's trying to get it back from Ballin, but Ballin's going to clear and trying to pull away from the 5. As it looks like the 5 may be having an issue, possibly. As they're still trying to wait for word from the incident that happened there between the two teammates. But we'll probably find out within the next few laps. But it just looked like the two teammates just slammed each other through the wall off of turn 3, and the 14 had nowhere else to go but slammed into him and spun around on the front stretch. Unfortunate for him, but it looks like he's able to recover and maintain at least within 20 seconds of the leader. As right now, Monfa, our new race leader, has already pulled to a battle about a second between him and Ballin. Chase still maintained behind after losing the lead. As they're trying to sort themselves out here. But Chase, I don't know what happened there, but he just lost momentum and the 97 took advantage and just took away. As we look on back here, Jay, who's still trying to recover, but he still has a 24 Trooper right in front of him who managed to complete the pass. As right now, minus these guys, we still have two other cars that are just way in the back. Trooper is still back here, trying to get the top 5. But Truex and Almirola are way behind the pack. It's going to take them a minute to rebel. But we do see the 2 of Ballin, although hitting the wall, losing some momentum, he is starting to catch on the 97. As he's going to completely cut the course. And he's going to hit the wall, lose momentum, and that's going to allow Chase to catch back on. And he's probably going to pass for the second spot. So Ballin, after cutting the course, he lost it into the wall, lost momentum, and lost the second spot. As now still radio going on between Jay and Almirola, which I believe Almirola was describing to Jay about the 1 out of 3, as Jay's going way out of line into the wall.
There's currently a car in the pits, unless you don't know.
Is that... Oh yeah, it's Almirola. Yeah. But did we get a... But could we get an update for... Hold on, what was he saying?
It's been because of outside with him and Jay. So.
Yeah, But did we get word for what happened between the 14 and the 69 there? But the 14 is warning for the 69 to get a 1 out of 3. Do you think it's probably deserved?
Yeah, because he kind of was shut his ass up. He went up and just put him in the wall.
Alright. We'll probably see from officials here in a minute, but we just seen the 14 out roll up, hit the pits, and he is now running right behind the race leader a lap down. But he does have the fresher tires underneath that 14.
I'm gonna go back.
Alrighty. That's our pit report from the from Anthony once again, giving us info between the 14 and 69 issues we had. Alright, we just heard the word from Race Control. 69 will get a 1 out of 3 for the incident back there between him, the 91, and 14. But he still runs second on the racetrack. But he's trying to catch the 97 on fresh tires to get back on the lead lap. But as behind him, we have a battle for the second spot. Chase and Ballin pretty much bump drafting down the front stretch. As that roll is going way up high. He's probably going to let second go by. But as they're going to pass the 14. But Chase, it looks to be pulling away from Ballin once again. Trying to keep the second spot. As he's swerving all the way around the racetrack to keep the draft away from the 2. But looks like the 2 is a bit better than the 5 in turn 3. Because he closed in a lot. Here you go, 16 to go in stage number 2. Still the concern is how long will tires last around here. The big 2-mile triangle of Pocono as we have the race leader in the wall. Momentum lost in the 97, and once again, just a reminder, if drivers hit the wall, you will lose tire wear. And that will just mean you will have decreasing amount of tires on those cars for the end of the run. But now Ballin, who's trying to get really close to the grass, on trying to make a pass, but we have the leader in the wall again. As now Chase, same thing, he's going to lose position to Ballin, as they are going to clear each other and still run around 15 to go, as they are now catching the race leader. They're within a second from him. So we have a 3-car breakaway from the top 3 to the rest of the pack, as Dees is 4th in line, 6 seconds behind. So they have a withstandable gap on each other. As Dees is just reporting on the radio that if he loses connection with the car in front, it's over. As Ballin gets to the wall hard off of turn 3. We still look back. We see the number 91 of these as just to see for how much far behind he is. He does have help from the 14-hour roller, who is still a lap down. Truex still running around in P7. That is still 1 spot gain. He ain't dead last. But I believe whatever the 14 gets back to the lead lap, it probably won't be for long. Yes, he is 26 seconds behind about the full track. Well, half the track. As he's going to the turn 1, the leaders are going into the turn 3. If we continue green for the rest of the way, it may lead the Truex possibly getting lapped on pace. That 19 is struggling. as now the 2 and the 5 has catched the race leader. They are on his back bumper, 13 to go. In stage 2, the race is on. They are within half a second from him, but the 2 has got a little wall. That's going to allow the 5 to pass for second once again. That may pull a disadvantage to them 2, as it looks like Ball was just slightly faster than the 5, but a mistake from the 2 pushes them back to third, as they are still trying to chase down the 97 of Monfa. But do we still see possible pit stops happening before the end of the stage? Because people can try flip-flopping the stage. They try pitting before the stage caution in hopes to try getting track position. But just the thing is, around here at Pocono, you have to be in a sustainable gap from the race leader in the way to where you don't want to get lapped. So, in the saying of possibly a guy like Dees, Ballin, Chase, anybody from second on back could try pitting before the stage end in hopes to try grabbing the lead whenever we get that stage caution and start stage 3. But as they still battle on for second, Ballin back into the wall again, gonna lose tons of momentum. That's going to separate him from the 5. As now the gap has spread it back to a 1.5 second. 11 laps to go in the race in stage number 2. And then we have the 69 around on the front stretch. He gets it back going, but what is he doing? And that is our yellow. Caution is out on the speedway. As the 69 is going to get a 2 out of 3. As here we go, leaders across the line. Monfa, Chase, Ball in top 3 as they slam into each other. D's P4. As Jay's going to get 5th. As they're still hitting the wall, but Trooper P6, Alrola is going to get back on the lead lap with the free pass, and Truex with the 7th spot. Alright. We'll probably wait on some info from Anthony for what happened there. But we had the 69 around on the front stretch. Backed up right in the traffic and parked it right in front of the 2 Horizon cars, so the 24 and the 14. The officials gave him a 2 out of 3, calling it totally uncalled for. But we're going to get a brief break, try to get things situated, and we'll get ready for pit stops once again here at Pocono. Alright, welcome back to Pocono Raceway. We did have to take a brief break because of a incident that happened in turn number 1 between the 69 of Jay, the 14 of Alrola, and the 24 of Trooper, as they had a multi-car wreck coming off the corner, and just a whole lot of stuff happened. As it looks like we do have a rejoiner of Chase. He unfortunately left the server, well, not the server, but the game in the midst of the yellow. I believe it's him trying to rejoin. Alright, but we'll get things back going here. Alright, countdown is back on. It is the 97 and 2 on the front row, back to green. Alright, here we go, rounding down the turn 1. Monfa leads the way. The 19 of Truex getting into the mix. First time he's been up here all day. Car is slamming into the wall in the back. But Monfa is going to lead it off turn number 1. Rolling down the backstretch to the 2. Now D's trying to make the pass on the 19. He makes it, but he has Trooper on the inside trying to make the same pass as well. They're going to get past the 19 of Truex, but they're trying to battle on for the second spot as Monfa pulls away. As 9 laps remain in stage number 2. Alright. So as we round down, 8 laps remain. And Monfa leads with a half of a second gap as everybody else try to sort themselves off the end of turn 1. As this is a battle for stage points right here. So, by the word, we will be seeing Chase rejoin at the end of stage 2. He did have to take a brief break. but we'll see him competing once again. But unfortunately, due to rules, he will have to rejoin a lap down. Which, how the racing we've been seeing today, it's probably likely. But as we still look on for Truex, the only RES car still remaining as of now, running all the way into the wall, going all the way back to the back. As Bonfa rolling down the turn one, 7 laps remain. D's trying to catch, but is gaining nothing. He is still losing time to the leader, as everybody else is 2 seconds back. As we look on for the battle for third, as Ballin hangs onto the spot, but Jay is within range of him. As so is the 14 of Alrola. As goodness, we have cars in the wall like mad behind. But I was like, Ballin has a central gap now, as there was some issues going off with the 69 at J, who has now lost position to the 14 Alrola. He does now maintain the last spot in the stage. The only thing is, the 69 is a non-points car, so it can technically not earn points. But although the guy behind him, that's a 24 Trooper, he does need points. As he's been running in the back all day, earned some some stage points will be well nice for the 24 as how bad they've been running all day. As the gap is still spreading out between first and second, it's now 1.5 plus seconds. But we'll go back on board with the 69 of Jay as he looks on from the 5th spot. As you're going to see the owl roll into the wall with a little bit of time. Oh, he's going to bump into him. Move him up the racetrack. They're going to be side by side, maybe on the front stretch. Never mind, Alrola gets the run, and he pulls away to a 1.5 car lengths. But we do have a battle on for a second. Ballin has catched up to the 91 of these. And it's side by side with him, but it looks like off the corner, they're going to be still side by side. And a little bit of contact, they're in the wall! Ballin around, spinning, can he hang on to it? As everybody else trying to sort themselves. These is spinning on the bottom. Can they hang on to it? Yes, they can. But Ballin, big disadvantage there. As we have almost everybody in the wall. As he's saying on the radio, he froze. That's how the contact was made between him and Ballin. But that's going to lose Ballin tons of positions. And it's going to allow his rival of Alrola to move up to P2, but he's battling with D's for the top spot. As Monfa is literally gone. He's by far the longest distance away from second we've seen all race. Oh my goodness. As now we see a battle between Ballin and Trooper, teammates on the racetrack. But I believe this is for the final point of the stage as of now. I believe. No, wait, it's actually... maybe? Oh, yes, it is. This is the battle for the final spot and the points for the stage. 2 laps remain. Monfa with a 4.5 second gap over D's, as they have their own free car battle up front, but this is a battle for the final stage point. But it looks like Ballin may have it, as right now the battle for second is right on. But it ain't just two cars, it's three, with D's, J, and Alrola. Stage points on the line, as Monfa is going to cross the line, start the final lap of stage number 2. As Alrola bump drafting with the 69, as they're going 195 miles an hour going down to turn 1. D's still ahead by quite a bit. Alrola into the wall. That's going to lose some momentum for him. And it looks like he's going to fall back. Won't be in range of the 69 now, as it looks like the battle between them has situated itself, but D's is losing some time to the 69. But as we look on, one car nearing the fence back there, that is Trooper. But as they come out the final corner, Monfa is going to cross the line and win stage number 2. D's going to finish second, J third, Alrola fourth, and Ballin collecting the final point in 5th. Trooper across the line 6th, Truex 7th, and holy moly, everybody's slamming into each other. Alright, we're going to take a brief break as drivers are trying to get themselves lined up to make pit stops here at the end of stage number 2. Alright, pit stops are about to start here at Pocono. Monfa's going to lead him down And let's see who's going to get an advantage here on the pits. Chase has officially rejoined into the race during our break, and so he will be rejoining us a lap down. So as we see pit stops underway. Oh goodness, people are... Oh, Ballin! Big mistake by Ballin. But here we go to the line. Moffa's gonna get the lead and keep it. As he's gonna park it right in front of the commitment line. I don't know what that's for. As, my goodness, what happened there? We had a big mistake made by Ballin, who ran into his teammate's pit stall while they were getting service. Tragic mistake by them. Gonna lose multiple spots as we will re-grid them and start stage number 3. Alright, we are back here at Pocono Raceway for the Great American Getaway 400. We are about to start stage number 3 here. As we'll give the countdown. It is Monfa and Jay on the front row. We are back green at Pocono. As Jay gets a mega start as it rolls down the turn 1. Oh, what the? That's what's happened. Okay, weird. Alright, I don't know what happened with the ticker, but we've situated it out, and we're anything back going here. As Jay, who has pulled out a substantial gap here at the start of stage number 3. But we already know, right off the gate, we will require 1 pit stop before the end of this race. Just the question is when or what is the driver's planning to do. We'll probably get a pure report from Anthony here in a few about what the strategy is planning to be. As we still look on, Monfa is trying to keep the second spot, but he has a rear view mirror full of D's and Ballin and a whole multi-group of cars, as Jay had a big issue off the corner, and he's going to give the race lead to Monfa. Monfa now back to the race lead, but for how long is Jay is right on the back bumper at the 97 Chevrolet. As they go through the bumps of turn 1, Jay is now looking on the inside. He has the better man off the corner. Side by side, going down to the backstretch onto the tunnel turn. He's going to get the advantage here. Give it to Jay. But Monfa trying to rip on the outside. Ball into the wall. Gets slingshot off the wall into the inside barrier. He keeps it back going. Near hits the traffic. But I believe we get off incident free. No yellow. As now off the final corner, side by side for the race lead, Jay and Monfa. Going down against the stripe, going down the turn 1. As now we have Chase, who is now rejoining a lap down due to regular ruling that we always give every race. If a driver rejoins mid-race, they will have to rejoin a lap down. He is currently third on the racetrack, possibly trying to get up onto it. As now Chase is right into the wall. 69 of Jay is spinning around. Gets it back up in the traffic. And he's going to recover and go well. Alright. So as we look on, Chase still running second on the racetrack, battling with the 14-hour Rolla. But for how long will it be? As they're free wide going down the turn 2. As they're gonna get slammed into the wall. As we'll just get a review on the 97 of Monfa, who still leads the way at this point, but geez, what a mega run. He's going to get side by side with the 97 of Monfa going down the turn 1. But it looks like this time the leader ain't gonna pull away that easy from the rest of the group. Alright. Unfortunately, due to this, we will have to take a mid-race break here. So once we get back, we'll have a few laps remaining here at Pocono. Well, maybe not cut away, but we could probably just go on board and just follow it for the rest of the race. But we're just gonna go a little bit here and just go on and do a little bit of a crank it up. Alright, I have officially returned, and we are some amount of laps in, and we have somewhat chaos going on as Trooper is in the pit lane, along with D's. I was asking for a little bit, but we are back, as Malfa still seems to be leading the way as multiple cars are into the pits. D's has been caught for speeding as he blows a tire as soon as he gets to his pit stall, which he overshoots. That is troubling there. He is on the pit lane, not on the racetrack, so there won't be a yellow for it, but he is forced to pit backwards. As I guess Truex also retired from the race. Weird. As he sits in victory lane. Chase is also retired. Jay is also retired, so 5 cars still remain. Monfo still leading the way. As oh, he is into the wall and spinning, saves it. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened to him, but he soared into turn 1, hits the wall, saves it with a tremendous slide. Oh my goodness. As he's gonna hit the wall again. This time, turn 2, inside wall. And saves it again. Is bro just putting on a show of just not hitting the wall? And just saving it like a madman? Goodness gracious. But all that did was hand Alrola the race lead. As I believe they've gone through their pit stops here. As Dees has gone through and Sir has passed through. So Dees has pretty much gone a lap down now. As that Alroa is the new race leader. Monfa running second and balling it for Horizon 1, 2, 3, 4. The only cars remaining on the lead lap. If you still have multiple laps to go. Which gives me the concern that well, they probably won't have to pit one more time, but if they keep hitting the wall, it's going to increase their chances. But we'll see how this plays out here. Alright, 3.5 seconds is the gap between first and second. 25 laps remain. And I'm pretty sure if they finish as they are, Alrola will become the new points leader going out of this weekend and to the next one, which next week we'll be heading to the curves of Watkins Glen. Another road course on the schedule, which we are getting into the hardcore of them. Because I believe the next few weeks after Watkins Glen, as Alrola is all the way to the bottom, going into turn one. Good grief. I guess he was trying to use the dragon, but he is nowhere with anybody. Well, he's not connecting with anybody that has any draft, or even gets any draft from him. So Alrola is pretty much safe right now after Montha having multiple issues, which I think was just at the end of his pit stop. I'm gonna guess some chaos happened earlier in the race that only has this many amount of cars and drivers remaining. I'm just trying to think of things to talk about, but I can't. Just to be truthfully honest, I can't think of anything to talk about. As I literally just got back 7 laps ago, and there's a whole gap in this race that I don't know what happened, but all I know right now, 22 laps to go, I'll roll a new leader, and top four are all Horizon cars. Trooper is way, way back. And these, after a speeding penalty, is traveling in second on the racetrack, but is a lap down. So he is waiting on a yellow to come out before the end of this race if he wants to get back into contention. But otherwise, he'll have to ride around a lap down for 22 more laps. Because I think Ballin just got into the wall off the corner. He keeps it up as he's trying to pass his teammate, who he has catched up to after Bonfa having multiple issues. As Alroy crossed the line, 21 to go. This battle is really starting to intensify here. Ballin trying to minimize the loss he will have. Because it's already clear he will lose the points lead. At the end of this race, Alrola ends up winning the rest. Or ends up leading the rest of the laps to another victory. As they both hit the wall, but Ballin wants to get past the 97 so they can minimize the loss they're already gonna have to suffer through going to the next week. As he now trying to perform the pass side by side with his teammate, as contacted the wall. But it looks like Ballin is going to perform the pass and go into turn one as the second car now. As D's ahead of him, a lap car has hit the fence big time. They really gotta reduce on hitting that wall if they want to make it to the end of this race. Because they pitted with about 30 something laps to go. At the moment I got back. So I've seen them stretch as much as they can. Because just a reminder, these stages, I believe, had went almost the same amount of laps as the end of this race. Thing is, I just don't know how this is going to play out. Because at this point, it's just reducing the wall hits and just stretch as much as you can. And as soon as I say that, the two balls in the wall. I believe if he still run around, Dees is going to get passed by the second car on the racetrack. As Ballin, I believe, is gonna try soaring for the race lead. Thing is, I don't know if he can catch that in 4.5 seconds. 5 seconds now. We'll have to see, so we'll go on board with the two and watch his onboard telemetry as he tries chasing down the race leader. Two can still see the 14 in front of him. Question is he gaining? It was 5.1 last lap this time. The gap is starting to shrink. It was 5.1 seconds, now it's 4.4. So, I don't know if Alrola had an issue, but Ballin closed quite a bit amount of time that lap. So, if Ballin can keep up, making good laps, he could probably catch that 14 before the end of this race. And just prior to this event, Ballin seemed to be the fastest car around the racetrack. Restrictor plates or not, he always remains being quick around here. Although the issue that he may have at qualifying that cost him the pole by so little time to chase, he is starting to prove that he has the speed around this 2-mile triangle, and he is showing it as he gained another 3/10 that lap. So Ballin showing as much as he can the gain on that 14, because all he has to do is be in the draft range of the 14 and he'll be there. As that we could definitely tell just by his onboard telemetry, he is pushing. Almost try to cut the course. As here it was 4.1. It's a free 4.0. So he closed into a 10th, but it looks like Alrola is starting to catch up the pace. But maybe not that time because he probably got into the wall there. As we'll go try going on board with a 14 now. Let's see what he's doing different. Oh, he's going to run it all the way into the wall. That was not good for him. Oh, boy. Alright, last time it was 4.0. This time it is 3.7. 3/10 gained again by Ballin. I don't know what Ballin's doing different, but he's being aggressive on trying to push to catch that 14. Because if the 14 wins this race, he'll be the points leader. If the 2 wins the race, he will keep the points lead. But the 14, I think, is pushing a little bit too much on himself. And just losing speed. But still, all the 2 has to do is get in the drafting range of the 14, and he can catch as much as he can on the straights. There you go. 3.7 last lap. This time, it extended out. Alrola, I think, is starting to find pace again with 13 to go. Plus, I do believe that soon, Trooper, who is still hitting the wall like crazy, is gonna be possibly a lap car by the end of this race. As it looks like that Dees has caught the draft of Ballin and is, I don't know if he's helping or trying to pass the 2. Not entirely sure what's the plan with the 91 and the 2, but I'm pretty sure the 2 wants the 91 to help him catch the 14. Because bump draft could be in effect. 12 to go. Gap has closed back in. It's 3.5 seconds now. Outroll is being a lot more visible to the 2's front window. And I'm pretty sure for Alarola, he is getting a little bit of pressure as he sees that 2 get closer and closer. We'll just look by the rear view, and he's getting closer. As I do find that the 2 is finding a bit more speed than the 14. Although he's going to be probably a little slow off the straight. As he lost a bit of time because of that. 3/10 lost that lap with 11 to go. Malfa, I don't see him catching. He lost 2/10 once again. But I don't know if he'll be there if an issue happens. Because if the 2 catches the 14 and they battle aggressively, the 97 might come back into it. But I believe for how much spread out everybody is, I don't think a caution is possible. As Trooper is literally crossing the start finish line when Alrola enters turn 3. As Ballin hits the wall, that's gonna hurt a lot. As it looks like he's gonna possibly let the 91 get side by side with him as he lost a bunch of time. 10 to go. Time is running out. I think as a strategy, the 2 will need the 91 to help him. But also he's gonna let the 91 by. But if he wants to catch that 14 car, he needs help. Because it shows that the 2 is struggling a little too much. Oh, D's gonna slam the wall. Got spin physics and it's gonna go all the way at the racetrack. Now it's gonna allow the 97 of Moffa to get back with his teammate. As we have a bystander on the racetrack. Here, 9 laps to go. Can Ballin push as much as he can on those tires to catch the 14 of Alrola? He does have the 97 of Monfa, possibly as a teammate on the straights, but Monfa's gonna get costed there. He's not quite closing in. He's losing more and more time. We'll go back on board with the 14 again. Well, not the 14, but the 2. As, yeah, the 14 is now just a dot on the front of the 2. As just this lap, it was a 5.8 between him and the 14. This is essentially the battle for the points lead. This time has been lost again. It's now 6 seconds. Alrola has all of a sudden found pace, and he is going. I mean, I think he might be getting help from the... I think he's getting help from the 24. Actually not quite. They're not even close to each other just yet. So Alrola has found momentum and just pushing as much as he can. Six to go. Did Ballin gain this lap? No, he lost more time. Alrola is pulling away. I think the time might actually have ran out for the 2 car that tried chasing that 14 down. As he hits the wall, I believe it's over. Unless a caution comes out, the two's chances of winning this race is probably over, and he's gonna lose the points lead as well. As we see off turn 3, Alrola across the line. 5 laps to go on the high banks of Pocono. As the last time through, he lost time again. Alrola is just running excellent laps. I still believe that Ballin is struggling as he's wrecking. The 2 is spinning into turn 3. You're just on the onboard as the 2 went around, got turned by his teammate, and has now dropped back to third. That's just gonna hurt him even more. So unless a caution comes out, it's race over for the 2. Only unless the 14 makes a tragic mistake, I really don't see him catching. Alright, yeah, just across the line, 3 laps to go. The gap between first and second is down. Maffa closed in 2/10 that lap, but I don't think you can close in with 2/10 a lap. As Trooper is on the same straightaway as the race leader. So he may try battling to keep himself on the lead lap. Possibly. Because if that happens, Horizon Racing would essentially been a complete sweep of the field, as they will have positions 1, 2, 3, and 4, and will be the only cars that finished on the lead lap. As 2 laps to go, and Alrola is still gone. As here comes the 14, going through the tunnel turn, as the last competitor he has to him is just a dot. As he does see his teammate in front of him, but as he gonna cross the line, white flag, 1 more time to go, presented by Quicksilver Studios. Alrola started mid-pack this race, started at stage 1, was all the way in the back. His entire team was struggling as a whole by the reports they've been getting for the first stage. Stage 2, they went through, started making a comeback, finished in the points to get some stage results. And now in the final stage, made it from a mistake from his teammate and out of the tunnel turn into turn 3 for the final time. He is gonna overcook it a hard lot. But out of the final corner, I'll roll up to the line. He's gonna win it in Pocono. As Moffin's gonna cross the line second. D's gonna finish 5th, a lap down. As Ballin, I believe, is on a flat tire. Ballin has blown a tire on the last lap and is crawling to the start finish line. If you look at the 14's backing up to try helping him. But here goes the 24, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The 2 is going to finish P3. And Trooper, if he can proceed to cross the line. What is he doing? I think the 14's trying to block 24. The 24 has to cross the line if he wants to finish this race. It's why is the 19 on the racetrack? But he's going to cross the line. Oh my goodness. Strategy played a pole to the 14. Alright. As we'll proceed to get burnout stuff set up here. Alright, we're going to take a brief break and we'll get to victory celebrations here at Pocono. As we see now, the 14 Almirola burning it down here on the front stretch. After an impressive victory here at Pocono. So officially now, the 14 will escape this weekend as the official points leader going into next week at the Glen. Another long turning racetrack here on the schedule as we run down towards the chase for the Cup. As I don't know how long those tires will last. So our broadcast schedule next week, you will see us at I believe the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as this was a late add-on to the schedule. But we do also have another announcement that we will be broadcasting the entire chase for the Cup from our first week at. I'm trying to remember. Our first round at Gateway to the end for the championship and Homestead. And by far, the 14 Almirola is gonna be there and he's gonna want to compete for it. But we are probably gonna call it tonight. But we are now seeing a championship contender winning once again, 2 in a row, I believe, although with different drivers. But once again, we will see you guys later in a few weeks at Indianapolis. Thanks for watching, and we will see you then.